Every morning is a divine appointment, a sacred moment between who you were and who you are becoming. When your eyes first open to the light of a new day, the universe pauses, waiting for your command. That first breath, that first thought, that first feeling, they are the brushstrokes that begin painting your reality. You are not waking into the world is awakening through you. Each morning is your silent invitation to create again, to imagine differently, to feel more deeply, to live more deliberately. This is not just another day. This is your day, the one your higher self has prepared for you to remember your power, to claim your desire, and to step into the version of yourself you have always dreamed of being. Before you rush into the noise of life, take these 20 minutes and turn inward. Let stillness be your teacher. Let imagination be your voice. You don't need to chase what you want. You only need to awaken to the truth that it's already yours. The world you experience today will echo the vibration you choose this morning. So choose love. Choose abundance. Choose the feeling of it is done. Because once you feel it real, life rearranges itself in ways beyond logic, beyond time, beyond effort. This is your sacred space of becoming, where faith replaces fear, where gratitude opens the doors of manifestation, and where you remember that you are the dreamer and the dream. As you listen, allow every word to sink into your subconscious like seeds of light. For these next 20 minutes, you are not listening to a voice. You are listening to yourself, to the infinite within you, reminding you of what you've always known, that imagination is creation, and your feeling is the secret. Imagination creates reality. Every morning is an invitation to begin again, not by changing the outer world, but by awakening to the inner one. The moment your eyes open, before your mind becomes filled with the noise of routine and responsibility, there exists a sacred stillness, a space where imagination breathes life into possibility. This is the most powerful moment of your day, because the thoughts and feelings you hold in that quiet space are not just ideas. They are the blueprint of your unfolding reality. You are not a passive observer of life, you are its author, writing each chapter with the pen of imagination. What you imagine consistently with faith and emotion will eventually harden into fact, for imagination is not a fantasy. It is the creative force behind all experience. Every structure, invention, song, or success that has ever existed began first in someone's imagination. It was once unseen, unproven, and intangible, yet through the persistent act of imagining, it became real. The same power that turned dreams into skyscrapers, silence into symphonies, and ideas into empires exists within you right now. The universe does not distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. It simply reflects the dominant image held in your mind and felt in your heart. When you awaken each morning, your imagination is like fertile soil, and your thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant with feeling and persistence will take root in the invisible and blossom in the visible. Many people rise each day and unconsciously imagine lack, limitation, and worry. They replay memories of failure or anticipate problems that do not yet exist, unaware that they are giving life to those very experiences. But the wise soul knows that imagination is the beginning of creation. They understand that to change their life, they must first change their inner movie. So instead of thinking of the life they want, they begin to think from it. Instead of wishing, they begin feeling it real. And as they sustain that feeling, reality must obey, for imagination governs the laws of manifestation. Close your eyes each morning and see yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the warmth of it. See the surroundings, the faces, the circumstances that confirm your dream has come true. Let your senses be filled with the joy and peace of it, until it feels so natural that you can no longer tell whether it is imagination or memory. This is the sacred act of conscious creation. When the mind accepts an imagined state as real, the subconscious begins to arrange circumstances, encounters, and coincidences that mirror that inner state. Life becomes a living reflection of what you have dared to believe. Imagination is not daydreaming. It is the art of deliberate feeling, the spiritual law that makes faith tangible. Every morning, the world waits silently for the command of your imagination. What you imagine with conviction is not wishful thinking. It is an instruction to the infinite power that shapes your destiny. If you imagine from fear, you invite circumstances that confirm it. If you imagine from love and confidence, you draw into your path opportunities, people, and experiences that echo your belief. This is why your mornings are sacred. They are not meant for rushing or reacting. They are meant for imagining and creating. When you rise, resist the urge to look at your phone, to scroll through the world's noise, or to measure your worth against others. Instead, listen to the still, gentle whisper of your imagination. Ask yourself, what do I choose to create today? Then close your eyes and see it done. See yourself walking through your day with calm certainty. Imagine conversations that go your way, decisions that align perfectly, moments of joy and peace unfolding effortlessly. The world will follow the picture you have painted within, because imagination creates before reality reveals. There is nothing outside of you that has power over you, except that which you give power through your attention. The outer world is the mirror, and your imagination is the light that casts the reflection. If you do not like what you see, do not fight the mirror. Change the image you hold within. Every problem, every limitation, every disappointment is a shadow of an inner belief, and that belief can be rewritten through imagination. When you awaken each morning, choose to imagine differently. See yourself healed, free, abundant, and fulfilled. Feel it deeply until your heart believes it is true. The moment your inner world shifts, the outer must follow. Imagination is the meeting place between you and the infinite intelligence that governs all creation. It speaks in images, feelings, and knowing. When you engage your imagination consciously, you align yourself with the creative power that formed galaxies, oceans, and life itself. You become the vessel through which that power expresses. So imagine boldly. Let no thought of limitation live longer than a heartbeat in your mind. Each morning, remind yourself that the world you experience is not fixed. It is fluid, responsive, and obedient to your inner command. Do not wait for proof to believe. Believe first, and proof will come. Every miracle begins as an act of imagination that defies current circumstance. You may not yet see the path, but the moment you imagine with feeling, the path begins to unfold beneath your feet. Walk in faith, and let your imagination be your guide. The unseen is not unreal, it is simply unobserved. When you give it your focus and emotion, you pull it into the scene. So as the sun rises and light touches your face, remember this truth. Imagination creates reality. You are not here to react to life, you are here to create it. Each morning is your blank page, and every thought is a stroke of destiny. Use your imagination wisely, feel deeply, believe completely, and soon, what you imagined in silence will stand before you in form, proving that the power to create was never outside of you. It was within you all along. Feeling is the secret. Every creation begins not with thought, but with feeling. Thought is the spark, but feeling is the flame that brings the unseen into form. Every morning, as you awaken, the world is silently waiting to respond to the vibration of your inner state. The universe does not answer your words, your prayers, or your wishes. It answers the feeling behind them. You may say, I am abundant. Yet if you feel lack, you will continue to experience lack. You may affirm, I am loved. Yet if you feel unworthy, love will remain distant. The secret is not in repeating words. It is in allowing your heart to feel the truth of those words until they become your natural state of being. Feeling is the language of creation. It speaks directly to the subconscious mind, which is the builder of your reality. The mind may doubt, analyze, or question, but the feeling knows. When you feel something as true, the subconscious accepts it as a command and begins arranging every circumstance to reflect that inner conviction. Each morning, you have the power to choose how you feel, and that choice sets the tone for your entire day. If you awaken in gratitude, love, and peace, those vibrations draw matching experiences to you. If you awaken in worry or frustration, the world mirrors that back. Life is simply echoing your inner emotional state. Many people try to think their way into a better life, but thought alone is dry and powerless without emotion. You cannot simply think of wealth, you must feel wealthy. You cannot think of health, you must feel the aliveness and vitality in every cell. The creative power of the universe flows through your feelings, not your logic. Feeling is the magnet that pulls reality from the invisible into the visible. It is the sacred bridge between imagination and manifestation. The moment you feel the state of your wish fulfilled, creation is complete. Everything that follows is merely the unfolding of that invisible act. Each morning, before you rise from bed, close your eyes and surrender to the feeling of your desire already realized. Let your body relax and your breath slow until you feel at peace. Then begin to imagine, not with your head, but with your heart. See the scene that implies your desire is already yours, and most importantly, feel the emotion that accompanies it. Feel the joy, the relief, the gratitude, the confidence. Let it fill you completely until your mind and body agree that it is real. Do not concern yourself with how it will happen. That is not your work. Your only task is to sustain the feeling, for feeling is the seed from which the event will bloom. When you maintain the feeling of your wish fulfilled, your outer world begins to shift naturally. You might meet the right person by coincidence, stumble upon an opportunity at the perfect moment, or suddenly find the inspiration to act. These are not accidents. They are the reflections of your inner state coming into harmony with your outer world. The subconscious mind, once impressed with a feeling, orchestrates everything necessary to make it so. Life moves to fulfill the vibration you have chosen. Think of your feeling as the frequency you broadcast to the universe. Each morning, you are tuning your inner radio. If you tune to the frequency of abundance, you cannot receive poverty. If you tune to the frequency of love, you cannot receive rejection. The signal you send is the signal that returns. So as you awaken, ask yourself, what do I wish to feel today? Choose the feeling first, and the experience will follow. When you master your feelings, you master your life. Do not suppress or resist your emotions. Instead, transform them. If you feel fear, don't fight it. Breathe and replace it with faith. If you feel doubt, gently shift to assurance. If you feel sadness, call upon gratitude. Your emotions are not enemies. They are messengers showing you what you are currently creating. Each time you choose a higher feeling, you are reprogramming your subconscious mind and aligning it with your desired reality. This practice, repeated each morning, becomes a powerful ritual of transformation. Feeling is the creative essence of all prayer. True prayer is not asking, it is feeling as if you have already received. When you feel that your desire is fulfilled, you align yourself with the version of you that already lives in that reality. The gap between wanting and having disappears, and what was once invisible begins to take form. The great secret is that you do not receive what you wish for, you receive what you feel to be true. Therefore, if you desire success, feel successful now. If you long for love, feel love now. If you wish for peace, feel peace now. The universe can only reflect the vibration you sustain within. Each morning, the feeling you choose becomes the foundation of your day's creation. Spend the first few minutes upon waking in silent awareness, connecting with the emotions that elevate you. Feel gratitude for being alive, for the air that fills your lungs, for the opportunities waiting to unfold. Let that gratitude expand until it spills over into every aspect of your being. From this state, imagine your ideal life not as something far away, but as something that already exists within you. Feel it so vividly that it becomes undeniable. As the day unfolds, carry that feeling with you. When challenges arise, do not react from fear, return to your inner state. Remember that the outer is only a reflection. Change your feeling, and the reflection must change. This is the power of conscious creation. The understanding that nothing outside of you can determine your experience unless you consent to it through feeling. Feeling is the silent architect of destiny. It is the invisible artist painting the scenes of your life. The world you see today was shaped by the feelings you held yesterday. The world you will experience tomorrow is being created by the feelings you hold now. So when you rise each morning, choose your feelings as carefully as you would choose your clothes. Let love, faith, joy, and confidence be your garment. Remember, the secret has never been hidden. It has simply been overlooked. Feeling is the secret. It is the doorway through which imagination becomes reality, through which desire becomes experience, through which dreams become truth. Every morning, feel as though you already are the person you wish to be. Live from that state, walk in that vibration, and soon the world around you will rearrange itself to match the feeling you have chosen within. Live from the end to live from the end is to step beyond time, beyond effort, beyond doubt, and to dwell in the feeling that your desire is already fulfilled. It is not to wish or to hope, but to know. Every morning as you awaken, the choice stands before you, to live as the person still striving toward their dream, or to live as the one who already possesses it. When you live from the end, you begin your day not as a seeker, but as a creator. You no longer chase, you embody. You no longer plead for change, you become the change. The moment you claim the end in consciousness, the bridge of events begins to form, carrying you naturally toward its physical realization. To live from the end is to occupy the state of your fulfilled desire in imagination, and to feel it so real that your senses are deceived by it. The outer world may still show you evidence of the old, but you are no longer moved by appearances. You walk in quiet confidence, knowing that reality must bend to the conviction you hold within. The unseen acts as the cause, the seen is merely its echo. Every circumstance, every encounter, every coincidence begins to rearrange itself in service to your inner assumption. You do not have to push or force. You only have to persist in the feeling that it is already done. Each morning, before you rise from bed, ask yourself, what would it feel like if my desire were already fulfilled? Let that question sink deep into your heart. The answer will not come in words, but in sensation. You might feel relief, joy, peace, or gratitude. That is the end. Dwell in that feeling until it feels natural. Let it color your breath, your expression, your energy. The world responds not to what you want, but to what you are. When you live from the end, you assume the identity of the fulfilled version of yourself. You stop trying to become, and you start being. This is the quiet power of creation, to persist in the unseen while the visible world lags behind. Imagine the seed buried in the soil. It does not question when the bloom will come, it simply knows it will. The gardener does not dig it up each day to check its progress. He trusts the process. In the same way, Once you have planted your desire in imagination and sealed it with feeling, release it. Live as though the seed is already sprouting. The unseen forces of life are always working, orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, and guiding you through the natural unfolding of your dream. Living from the end does not mean ignoring reality. It means interpreting reality through the lens of fulfillment. If you are seeking health, do not see yourself as someone trying to heal. See yourself as already whole, vibrant, and alive. Feel that aliveness as if it were your current truth. If you desire wealth, do not think of earning money. Think from the state of already having it. Feel the ease, the freedom, the abundance. If you long for love, do not act as one waiting to be chosen. Feel yourself cherished, appreciated, and adored now. This feeling becomes the signal that calls forth its physical reflection. The outer world is always catching up to the inner one. When you live from the end, you begin to notice how effortlessly life rearranges itself to fulfill your inner conviction. A chance meeting, a phone call, a sudden idea, all are pieces of the bridge leading you to your desire. But this bridge only appears once you have crossed it in consciousness. The moment you accept your wish as a present reality and feeling, the path to its manifestation begins to unfold. Living from the end requires faith, and faith is not blind hope, it is inner knowing. It is the calm assurance that the unseen is real, because you have already experienced it within. The senses may tell you the opposite, but your inner feeling must remain unmoved. When doubt whispers, "It hasn't happened yet," answer with conviction, "It already has." The outer world will eventually catch up, for it has no choice but to reflect the inner assumption that has become dominant. Every morning, spend a few quiet moments living from the end. Visualize yourself after your wish is fulfilled. What do you see? What do you hear? How do you move? How do you feel? The key is not to observe yourself achieving the goal, but to experience it from within, as though you are living it now. If your desire is to have peace, then feel the calm of a mind already free. If your desire is success, feel the quiet pride of one who has already accomplished it. The more real this becomes within, the sooner it must crystallize without. When you live from the end, you dissolve the illusion of time. You are no longer waiting for your dream to come, you are living in the consciousness where it already exists. Time then becomes your servant, not your master. It bends around your conviction. The future folds into the present because, in truth, they are one. Every outcome already exists in the infinite field of potential. By living from the end, you select the reality you wish to experience. This practice transforms every morning into a sacred act of alignment. You are no longer reacting to what is. You are creating what will be. The world outside is your reflection, so begin each day by reflecting your chosen state. Walk, speak, and move as the person who already has it. Let your actions flow naturally from that identity. You don't need to force or pretend. You simply need to remember who you are in imagination and stay faithful to that vision. Even when things appear unchanged, hold your inner knowing. The most powerful transformations happen in silence. When you live from the end consistently, the old reality loses its power because you no longer feed it with attention. Your focus becomes the magnet that draws the invisible into visibility. The more real your inner world becomes, the faster your outer world transforms to match it. So each morning as you listen and breathe, step into the end boldly. Feel what it's like to already be the person you desire to be. Live in that vibration until it becomes effortless. Speak as though it is done. Move as though it is done. Believe as though it is done. And soon you will see that the distance between desire and fulfillment was only ever an illusion. To live from the end is to awaken to your true creative power. The understanding that you are not chasing your dream, you are remembering it. What you desire is not ahead of you, it is within you, waiting for your recognition. Live from that truth each morning, and watch as life unfolds in perfect harmony with the vision you have already claimed in feeling. Revision of yesterday each new morning is not only the beginning of a new day, but the opportunity to redeem the old. Life is not bound by what has happened. It is shaped by what is believed about what has happened. The past is not a prison. It is pliable, soft clay in the hands of imagination. When you awaken and begin your day, you have the power to revise yesterday, to reshape every memory, emotion, an event that no longer serves your highest good. This sacred act of mental alchemy is called revision, the art of rewriting the past so your present and future may unfold in harmony with your ideal state. The mind often drags the residue of yesterday into today. Words spoken in anger, mistakes made in haste, disappointments, regrets. They cling to our thoughts and emotions, subtly recreating the same patterns day after day. We wake up and unknowingly relive the same energy, carrying the past like an invisible burden. But you are not meant to repeat the past, you are meant to renew it. Revision is the practice of freeing yourself from old stories and replacing them with the versions that align with your desired reality. When you revise, you are not deceiving yourself. You are choosing a higher truth, one that reflects your divine power rather than your human limitation. Imagine each morning before you rise that yesterday is laid before you like a blank canvas. Close your eyes and recall the moments that still weigh upon your heart. Perhaps there was a conversation that ended in misunderstanding, an opportunity you missed, or a reaction you regret. Instead of replaying it as it was, replay it as it should have been. See yourself responding with love, calm, and wisdom. Hear the other person speaking words of understanding. Feel peace replacing tension. Experience joy where sadness once lived. Do this not as a fantasy, but as a real, living memory. The subconscious does not distinguish between what happened and what is vividly imagined. It accepts the impression you feed it. By revising the past, you alter the energetic blueprint that shapes your present. Every morning, this act of revision clears the emotional clutter of yesterday and resets your vibration. It lifts the heavy weight of guilt, shame, and regret, and replaces it with clarity and freedom. When you revise an event in imagination, you are not changing what occurred on the timeline of physical history. You are changing your relationship to it, and therefore, its influence on your future. The past only lives through your memory and emotion. Change those, and you change the future that grows from them. Life is not linear, it is circular, continuously recreating itself from your state of consciousness. When you awaken and revise, you interrupt the cycle of repetition and create a new one based on your chosen reality. This practice may seem subtle, but its effects are profound. When you revise, you realign your subconscious mind with harmony. For instance, if yesterday someone wronged you and you woke today with resentment, that resentment continues to project outward, attracting more experiences that match it. But if you revise the scene, if you imagine that the person apologized, that understanding replaced conflict, that peace was restored, your emotional state shifts. You are no longer radiating hurt, you are radiating peace. Life then mirrors that new vibration, bringing forth experiences of healing and cooperation. Revision is forgiveness in its highest form. It does not require confrontation or conversation. It is done in silence, within the temple of your imagination. When you revise, you forgive not because you must, but because you recognize that holding on to pain only creates more of it. You release the past by rewriting it in alignment with love. This inner act of correction is not about erasing reality. It is about remembering your power to choose how reality affects you. Every memory carries energy. By revising it, you transmute that energy from resistance to acceptance, from sorrow to serenity, from fear to faith. Every morning, take a few moments to review yesterday as though you are an artist refining your masterpiece. You might recall 3 or 4 scenes that didn't go as you wished. One by one, close your eyes and replay them differently. Hear the words you wanted to say. Feel the emotions you wish you had felt. See the outcome unfold perfectly, leaving you with satisfaction and calm. Let these revised scenes settle into your subconscious before you rise. This act plants new seeds in the garden of your mind. Throughout the day, you will notice that your interactions flow more smoothly, that the heaviness of the past has lifted, and that peace surrounds you effortlessly. When you consistently practice revision, you reclaim mastery over your life. You no longer see yourself as a victim of circumstance or memory. Instead, you understand that the power that created your experiences is the same power that can transform them. Each morning becomes an act of redemption, a chance to rewrite every yesterday into harmony with your desired state of being. Over time, you will find that even long-standing memories, perhaps from years ago, can be revised and healed. The energy once trapped in pain becomes fuel for creation. The self that once carried sorrow begins to radiate freedom. Living in this way is not denial, it is dominion. You are not pretending that the past didn't happen. You are choosing the version of it that empowers you. The outer world is a projection of inner states, and by revising the inner, you automatically transform the outer. You become the conscious author of your timeline. The old reality fades, replaced by new patterns of ease, joy, and success. People who once seemed distant or difficult may suddenly behave differently. Situations once stuck may resolve effortlessly, and doors that were closed may open. All because you have rewritten the cause behind the effect. Each morning, remind yourself you are not bound by yesterday. You are renewed every time you awaken. The past lives only in imagination, and imagination is yours to command. Use it wisely, lovingly, and deliberately. As you revise the old, you create space for the new. You step out of cycles of repetition and into cycles of creation. You stop carrying the echoes of yesterday into the fresh dawn of today. So as the sun rises and light enters your room, breathe deeply and affirm within, yesterday is redeemed. My past is purified. My present is free. Feel that truth sink into your being. Walk through your day unburdened, knowing that nothing from yesterday has the power to define you unless you give it permission. You are the creator, not the captive. The script of your life is in your hands, and through the sacred art of revision, you can write a masterpiece anew each morning. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. There comes a moment each morning when the world is still quiet, when thought has not yet hardened into form, and you stand between the seen and the unseen. It is in this sacred stillness that creation begins. In that space, before action, before movement, before speech, you are given the key to all manifestation. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This is not a ritual of effort or repetition. It is a silent inner shift, a sacred acceptance that what you desire is already yours. When you assume the feeling, you do not hope, you do not ask, you receive, you do not chase, you embody. Assumption is the bridge between imagination and reality. The outer world cannot resist the conviction of an inner state fully accepted. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you enter a new frequency of being. You no longer vibrate with lack, desire, or doubt. You radiate certainty, completion, and peace. This shift in vibration communicates directly with the subconscious mind, the creative medium that responds faithfully to what you feel to be true. Once the subconscious is impressed, it must externalize that state through circumstances, opportunities, and events that mirror your assumption. Life cannot help but reflect what you persistently feel yourself to be. To assume is to become. It is the sacred act of identifying with your desired reality so completely that there is no gap between desire and fulfillment. Each morning, before you rise, enter this quiet inner temple and feel what it is like to live as the person who already has what you seek. If it is abundance you desire, feel the ease, the gratitude, the quiet confidence of one who never worries about lack. If it is love you seek, feel the warmth of being cherished and understood. If it is healing you need, feel the aliveness, the strength, the wholeness that flows through your body right now. The subconscious does not wait for outer confirmation. It believes what you feel, and the outer world rearranges itself to match that belief. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled does not mean pretending or forcing belief. It means relaxing into knowing. You rest in the awareness that your desire is already accomplished in the unseen. You feel the relief of completion. You live as though it were true because, in consciousness, it already is. Every morning, spend time saturating yourself in that feeling until it becomes natural. Walk in it, breathe in it, let it shape your thoughts and actions. You are not trying to make it happen. You are remembering that it already has happened in the infinite realm of imagination. This practice transforms your mornings into portals of power. Instead of starting your day with doubt or effort, you begin with certainty and calm. You align yourself with the state of fulfillment, and from that state your day unfolds differently. You make decisions not from fear, but from faith. You speak not from lack, but from abundance. You carry yourself as one who already possesses the life they once desired. And this state of being magnetically draws everything necessary for its materialization. The law of assumption is simple, but absolute. What you assume as true, you become. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the outer world might initially seem unchanged. Old conditions may still linger, but pay them no attention. They are merely the echo of your previous assumptions. The new state you have accepted will soon dissolve them. Just as a shadow cannot resist the light, the old reality cannot persist when the new assumption is sustained. Persist calmly in your new feeling, and without struggle or effort, the outer world will transform. The bridge of events will appear, unexpected conversations, perfect timing, subtle synchronicities, all aligning to bring your inner state into outer manifestation. Every morning, as you awaken, remind yourself that feeling is the creative cause. You are not waiting for proof, you are providing it from within. Feel now what you once thought you would only feel then. The universe does not respond to your desires, it responds to your state of being. If you feel as though you already have what you want, creation is complete. The rest of life becomes the natural unfolding of that inner truth. The greatest secret of assumption is this: once you feel it real, you no longer need to concern yourself with results. You rest, knowing that the unseen has already arranged the scene. Do not confuse assumption with effort or pretense. You are not forcing a belief, you are entering a state of consciousness. You are remembering your power as a creator. When you assume, you claim your identity as the one who is, not the one who wants. Wanting implies absence, assumption implies possession. So each morning as you close your eyes, drop the feeling of I wish and rise into I am. Let that truth echo through your being until it feels effortless. This is the shift that turns imagination into experience. You will know you have assumed correctly when peace replaces impatience. There is no longer a sense of waiting, only a quiet joy of knowing. You begin to feel grateful before receiving, calm before confirmation, and confident without evidence. That inner calm is the signal that creation is finished. The seed has been planted. It only awaits its natural season of growth. Your task is not to dig it up in doubt, but to water it daily with faith, gratitude, and joy. Assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled is the practice of divine remembrance. It is realizing that all things already exist within consciousness, and that by choosing a new feeling, you are choosing a new reality. Each morning, this choice stands before you like two doors, one leading to repetition, the other to creation. The door you open is determined by your feeling. Choose the feeling of is done. Walk through that door and live from it throughout your day. So as the sun rises and touches your skin, take a deep breath and affirm silently, it is already mine. I am already that. Let those words move beyond your mind and sink into your heart. Feel the joy, the freedom, the serenity of completion. Stand up from your bed as the version of you who already lives your dream. Speak from that state. Act from that state. Believe from that state. And soon what was once invisible will take shape before your eyes. Remember this truth each morning. Assumption is not about making something happen. It is about being the one to whom it has already happened. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, creation is finished. Time only serves to unveil what you have already accepted. So live today as though the miracle has already occurred, for in consciousness it has. And as you continue to walk in that feeling, life itself will rise to meet your assumption, proving once more that your inner state is the only true cause, and assumption, the eternal bridge between the invisible dream and the visible world.